Hello, and thank you so much for tuning into the She Can Ball podcast. I'm your host, Mahi. Today, we're joined by a former teammate of mine and a member of the Cal Poly Pomona's women's basketball team, Alexis Woodson. Before we get into the episode, I want to thank today's sponsor, Amrita Protein Bars. I've been eating these bars for a few months now, and I have to say they're a complete game changer for me. These bars are high in protein and low in sugar, which is a huge plus. But what I love most about them is that they taste clean and they aren't overly sweet, which is a refreshing change from most protein bars out there. One of my favorite flavors is mango and coconut. No added sugar, packs 15 grams of protein, and tastes absolutely delicious. They're also nut free, vegan, and gluten free. So they're just a great option for everyone, regardless of dietary restrictions. Honestly, you just have to try them for yourself to see how good they are. And you can use the link in the story notes for 20% off your order with Amrita Bars. Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Hey Lex, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
So yeah, I know you're in off season right now. So what is that kind of looking like for you?
Um, well, it's looking like a lot of conditioning. I do conditioning like every day but the weekends. I work out like hoop every other day, so it's really just train all off season.
And so obviously you're transferring this season, which we'll go into a little bit later on in the show, but
hmm
is there like a different regimen like from what you used to do when you were going to Stanislaus?
Um, no, not really. I think it's
Okay.
just the same. I guess the only thing that's different would just be my mindset about it, just because I am going to be a new person, new player coming into a program kind of already established. So just making sure my confidence doesn't waver but like what I work on pretty much stays the same.
Awesome. So, as you know, with the show, we always like to start back with people in their journey. So, when did you start playing basketball? When did it all start for you?
I started playing basketball when I was in like the sixth grade. My dad made because I really wanted to play basketball. He made this nonprofit AU team in my city, and so that's where I started. And then he got these different girls from like surrounding cities and surrounding areas, and we all came together and we started hooping together. And then I think we didn't stop hooping together until like high school. So
Wow.
yeah,
And so, when did it get kind of serious for you think?
I would say like my freshman year of high school. Um, I really because I went to two different high schools. So I went to one high school my first year, and I was playing, and I was like, okay, I think I really want to take this serious. Like I could really be good if I like really, gave it my all. And so that's why I left and went to a different school. And then I saw just a different environment, how much more seriously people took it. And then I took my AU more seriously, went to start playing for different programs that really got more exposure. And so yeah, in high school I really locked in.
And that is true. I forgot that you transferred in high school as well.
hmm
Like, what was kind of the change there, and like, what are sort of the things that you're kind of taking into this new transfer that you'll be taking on this year?
Just to make sure that you know who you are, you're confident in who you are. When I was in high school, I was my freshman year, I was still trying to figure myself out, figure out my game, what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Although it didn't work out there, I did learn things that did help me when I made the move. I was able to be more versatile, more flexible. I can adjust quickly to different things I'm not comfortable to. So I'm definitely going to take those aspects into this new college transfer. So.
Awesome. And so obviously your sophomore year, so you guys won NCS your junior year, right?
I think my senior year.
Okay, okay. I'm trying to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
get the
yeah.
timeline right because okay, I feel like I just meshed my like your junior and senior year together
Uh-huh.
because of COVID and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
So then
pretty
what
much.
was that? Obviously that was such a big, deal for the whole team considering
hmm
what you guys had all been through with everything. What
hmm
did that kind of mean for you and knowing that you'd sacrifice so much moving schools and doing all this just to come to a better program and see that outcome?
I think it really meant a lot to me. Like I always felt like I was on the team that never won. We would get so far, but I was always the team that came up short. And so to actually be the team that won was like amazing. And I just love the girls I played with. I love that we all had the same mindset. We all wanted to win. And that just meant the most to me because I had been playing on a team before where girls really didn't care. They were just there just to be there because they didn't want to do PE. So just like having girls around me that cared as much as I did really just made it that much more sweet. And everybody was counting us out. Everybody did not think we would get that far. And just to prove them wrong really was just like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, I think it's cool because I've had a lot of the Monte Vista players on the podcast, and so it's cool to hear
Hmm.
like what it kind of meant for them because obviously it was a big deal for all of us, but everyone had their own individual reasons. We had people that were transferring, people that and transferring I think is tough because you're not only doing that from basketball, but it's also like your social and academic life. And I knew that you had a lot of friends over there too. Like, was it tough
Hmm.
to make that adjustment at first?
Oh, 1,000%. Oh my gosh. Yes. My sophomore year is when I transferred to Monte Vista. I was very like, so basketball wise, I had the right mindset, but socially, I was just kind of like, I have my friends back home. Like, I don't need you guys. I'm just here to hoop. Like, da da da. But once then COVID happened, so I really wasn't even at school ever. And then see my senior year, I was like, okay, like you guys are actually pretty cool. I allowed myself to open up. I was being more of a because I've been a social butterfly, and so I was really like, no. And so when I allowed myself to really like be that, get back to what I usually am. I made so many friends, met people I didn't think I'd be friends with. And it ended up being it kind of made my high school experience like more well-rounded. Like I had my hometown friends, but I also had my school friends. So yeah.
And I just think in general, your time at Monte Vista, like you kind of talked about that versatility. I feel like you were just able to do everything wherever someone put you and you were able to succeed at that. You kind of talked about like transferring and maybe your freshman year helped you build that versatility, but what
Hmm.
ultimately do you think went into like making you that player?
I think just I think I'm a super competitive person, so the people around me were super competitive as well. And I always kind of have like, and when it comes to basketball, I always kind of have the kill or be killed like mentality. Like I don't want to get killed. Like I want to survive. So I'm gonna do everything I have to make sure that I'm still make sure I'm on the court, make sure I'm a starter or so have it, and that I'm one of the main options. Like I want to help the team in any way possible. So if you need me to just rebound today, I'll just rebound. You need me to play lockdown defense, I'll play lockdown defense all day. So I think definitely the people around me having that competitive mindset really pushed me and really made me like kind of like wake up and be like, hey, like if you don't get it together, you're not gonna make it out here. So yeah.
Yeah. And that was one thing I appreciated so much about Monte Vista as well. Obviously, I'm not going on to play college basketball. And I think there was a part of me when I was younger where I was like, oh, I want to play D3 and go to a small school. And
Hmm.
that I think quickly changed. And I was like, I don't think this is exactly what I want for myself. But
Yeah.
being in that environment like taught me so much about what like a championship team means. And obviously, after
Hmm.
you left, winning NCS again was like such a big moment for us. Like I mean, we lost a lot of talent in that 2022 class. We literally
Hmm.
had like three girls in our open gyms. Like it was really rough, new coaching staffs, and we still like figured out a way to come out with that dub. So I
Yeah.
think
I
you
was so
learn,
proud of you guys. I was like, oh my gosh, look at them.
and we were not expecting it at all. We didn't know what was going to happen going into the season, and I think that
Yeah.
we had a tough kind of schedule at the beginning, which we were kind of like annoyed at because I think it was just complicated kind of figuring out what our dynamic looked like. I mean,
Hmm.
taking away even Mia was like a really key player for our team and figuring out what this looks like under a new coaching staff was really tough at the beginning, but I think we kind of made up for it at the end and it all worked out.
Yeah.
And so you committed to Stanislaus your freshman year. What kind of
Hmm.
drew you to that school and what went into the whole recruiting process?
Um, well, to start, that was so I had some D1 offers and I had some D2 offers, but the D1 offers they had like change of staffing and stuff like that, so it just didn't end up working. But so at the time that was my highest or like most competitive offer. I knew some of the girls going there, so that kind of helped too. Um and it was just, it was a Cal State school. It wasn't too far from home, it wasn't too close to home. the school facilities and everything. You're like, oh my God, it's so cute. So yeah, that really got me. I didn't know too much about like how they were years prior, but I knew the girls coming in with me, and I knew some of the teams in the conference, and I was like, we can really make something happen. So that kind of, yeah, made me really want to go there.
So what was kind of that first year? So you're a sophomore, so you 2 years there, correct? And
I
so
did 2 years there. Yeah.
what was that kind of dynamic? And like I know you made a lot of good friends with your teammates as well. So what was that?
hmm well, the first year was a little rough. It was very like fresh. We came in with 9 freshman girls, and there's only like 4 or 5 returners. So it was kind of like we were really butting heads a lot. Um, so that kind of made it difficult. And on everybody knows in order to be successful, your team has to have chemistry. You have to like each other at least on the court, and we weren't liking each other even on the court.
Hmm.
So it was just really rough. But then coming into sophomore year, this past season, we really we just put our egos to the side. Simple as that. We really were like, this is bigger than us. We know what it felt like to be the worst team in the conference last year. We know, but we all can agree on that.
Yeah.
We could agree that we did not like this feeling, did not want this to repeat itself. And we were like, let's just win. Like we don't have to mess with each other off the court, but on the court we got to be besties. Like I have to be
Yeah.
able to ask you questions. You like the returners, the more seasoned players. I need to be able to feel comfortable asking you for help. You have to feel comfortable giving me answers without thinking I'm trying to come for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like that change really helped us. Like we got off to a really good start. We were the number one team in the conference for a while.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So just really putting your egos aside. And then we ended up being like the best of friends off the court. So it was very like a whole 360, but it was for the better. So
But I think sometimes you need that to like hit
hmm
that rock bottom and just like, okay, now we got to pick it up, you know.
yep, 100%.
And so now, going into this transfer, obviously you
hmm
love basketball, but I know so you want to be an orthopedic surgeon, correct?
I do.
And so academically, like what is that going to look like? Are you a little bit nervous about like whatever that like academic scene might be at Pomona?
hmm Well, Pomona is a very like rigorous school. It's very, it's known for being pretty tough. But I would say I'm a pretty academically strong person, but juggling basketball and these hard science classes is going to be quite the task, which I'm up for because I feel like what I want to go into, the career I want to go to, is going to be so rewarding. Um, I wanted to do this for since I was like a little kid. I always wanted to be a doctor, so just like I don't know, being able to say that I was a student athlete and became a surgeon is just going to be like amazing.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm a little nervous about all these harder science classes, but I think I can do it. It's like, you know, as long as you lock in, put your
You
mind
got it,
to it, I think you
Lex.
can do it. Yeah.
Yes. What are like the main differences between like the programs? Are they similar in some ways and like different in some ways?
So to start off with San State, quite frankly, it wasn't very structured. It was more kind of like um, one person kind of do everything, which deemed to be not successful. So that not everybody getting involved, not everybody touching the ball, which kind of makes it hard to be successful as a team since it is a team sport. But then
Yeah.
at Pomona, every at least like half their team is averaging like 7 to 8 points a game. Everybody's scoring,
Oh.
everybody's touching the ball, everybody's involved. It's not a one person offense, it's a team offense, which and it's structured. I'm a structural player. I need some structure. I can't just go out there like a pickup ball and just being like, yeah, let's play. Like that's not really me.
Yeah.
So that structure definitely is more my cup of tea. But yeah, they're Pomona's more organized, more teamly, more team like, more professional. So and that's what I kind of gravitate towards more, and I'm more successful in that type of environment. So yeah,
Yeah. I think it's easier to guard when it's like one person. And you see that I think
exactly.
especially, throughout playoffs and stuff when you're like kind of more locked into like a certain team and you're really looking to scout and it's like, okay, one player knows everything. You know
hmm
exactly what it's gonna be. But it's always nervous when you pull up the max preps and everyone's got 8 points. You're like, oh shoot,
Yeah.
who are
Yeah.
we supposed to guard?
Exactly. Exactly. Everybody's a threat. It's not just one person and the team's done, you know?
Exactly. What are some goals that you have for yourself, like maybe for this next season and just like the rest of your collegiate career?
Um, I would really say like to really solidify myself, like in the conference, I really want to like make myself a real presence, like we're playing Pomona. Oh yeah, Alexis is on that team. I really want
Mhm.
that because I work my butt off. So I really want, the recognition and everything. I definitely want to get, my rebounds per game, my points per game up. Um, I just want to stand out. I feel like these past 2 years I was kind of like, I was there, but I was kind of like, I wasn't stand out. So I really want to make a name for myself in this conference and really like help my team go as far as possible. Um, and yeah.
And you're very resilient, Lex. I mean, obviously, I feel like you can throw anything at you, and I always know you're gonna come above, greater and stronger. I feel like there's a lot of people that might be in that situation. Maybe they're looking to transfer, maybe they're just not happy where they are, and they're trying to go
hmm
out and get a better situation. And sometimes that's tough, that like adjustment. Do you have advice for people? Like, what do you think really helped you to just stay strong through tough times like that?
One, a support system, 1,000%. The girls that went through it with me, this our situation, my parents, my family members who were supportive of me and my situation and what happened. And really just telling myself that like everything happens for a reason. Like sometimes your first school that's not your home, and that's okay. Like, um, and stay true to yourself. You know who you are, you know your game, you know that there's somebody out there that loves you and your game. And don't settle, like if you think that there's better out there, if you think that your game can fit somewhere else, your personality can fit with other girls on a different team, then do it. Don't be afraid because you're gonna regret it. Like after my first year, I was really like, okay, like I need to go. But I stuck it out, which was okay. It ended up working out, but um just follow your gut. If you have a feeling that it's not what you thought it was going to be, it probably is not going to be what you think it's going to be. So, yeah, just do it. Stay confident, you know, stand on your decision and make sure you have a support system that also respects your decision and supports that decision because it makes it like 10 times easier. So, yeah.
Very good advice. And so, with your orthopedic surgeon dream, so obviously
hmm
it's 4 years of undergrad. What does it look like the steps to get there, the schooling?
Well, obviously I got all my GEs out the way, which is like, the freshman classes, sophomore
Okay.
classes. But now it's more like chemistry, anatomy, or OChem, which is organic chemistry. Like all those science classes, biology. I've taken like three different biology classes. So, just kind of stuff like that, really sciencey classes. You're not really doing as many like essays and, some math here and there. Um, but yeah, it's looking like just a whole lot of science. So yeah.
And so, after undergrad, do you apply to med school? How does that work?
hmm Yeah. So I'm going to be taking all like the pre-med classes, which are the medical school prereqs.
Hmm.
And then after you graduate, get your degree, you start applying to medical schools, or you can go get your master's and then go to medical school. But yeah, you start applying to med schools, you do internships beforehand, kind of pat up your resume and everything.
Yeah.
And then you start applying and you get accepted, and then you do your 4 years, and then you go into residency, and then yeah, you kind of take off from there.
And so, how does eligibility work? I know that you get eligibility maybe like for masters or something, right? You would not get that
Yeah,
from med school though.
no.
Okay.
Middle school is like after you can't, yeah, you can't, oh God, no, you cannot hoop and do medical school at the same time. So that's why you gotta commit to kind of like one or the other. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, because I talked to twins a while ago and they both were like pre-med going to Brown and they both like are in medical school now. And it's just like
hmm
I don't know how people do that. I don't know how you do pre-med, like, pre-med that track as like an undergrad, play basketball,
Hmm.
and then do all that. Like, takes a certain kind
Yeah,
of person, but I think Lex, you
yeah.
are that person.
Thank you.
Just one thing, because Pomona is further away, I know you talked about, Stanislaus being kind of close to how far is it from your house, actually?
Stanislaus, it was about like 2 hours from my house.
Okay. I think it's a good
Yeah.
distance. Not too
Hmm.
far, not close enough. But Pomona
Yeah.
is definitely going to be a lot further. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that going into it?
At first, I'm kind of somebody who I love my home. I love the people here, but I am one to kind of like want to um discover other places that are a little further, see where I can kind of see myself living and, the type of people or different people live everywhere. So, I love the Bay Area and everything, but I want to see what else is kind of out there. And more than half my family live in SoCal and some even in the Pomona area. So I know, not knowing, so knowing that I'm not alone, like completely, was really like made the decision like a little easier. But um, but yeah, just knowing I'm not alone and I'm familiar with the SoCal area, so um, I was way more open to it. Had I like not had any family or not really been to that area before, so.
Sure. Sure. And lastly, Lex, what advice do you have for young girls that are looking to pursue basketball at a high level?
I would say stick to your guns. Know what you are, be confident in who you are, and be confident in who your game and what your game is. Don't let anybody or anything waver. Do not compare yourself. If your teammate's getting all this love, all this praise, and you're not really getting it, don't, that doesn't mean anything to you. Congratulations to her, but you're still you. And there were people around me who were getting way more things than me, way more higher than me, and we were on the same team. But my time, I was patient, stayed down. My time came, and she was supportive, just as supportive of me. Um, work, really put the work in. It'll pay off. Trust.
Yeah.
um, and really just and have fun with it. Enjoy it. Don't if you're miserable, like it's not worth it, like at all.
Yeah.
I feel like if you want to play at the highest level, or at least the college level, like you respect the game more than to just like kind of do it, you know, wishy-washy, you're
Sure.
gonna do it 100%. So make sure you're somewhere you love, some coaching staff you love, teammates you love, location, everything. And just get the most out of it and really just, own who you are is really it, I can say.
Yes. Awesome advice. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Lex. I appreciate your time here.
Of course. Of course. It's so much fun.